Stavros Karamperidis is an associate professor in maritime economics and the head of the Maritime Transport Research Group at the University of Plymouth. He joins us now live from Plymouth in the UK. Good to have you with us, sir. If attacks like the ones we've been reporting on today continue, what are the broader implications for energy prices, insurance, as we just mentioned, and global supply chains? How quickly will consumers like you and I feel the impact?
Thank you very much, first of all, Adrian, for having me. It's a great pleasure to be back again and have a chat with you. Those are very good questions to ask. Hopefully, we're not going to see a further escalation of what is happening at the moment in the area, because the logical thing to see is we're going to see the prices going up. There's a lot of forecasts from various experts in the moment that they're talking about that if the overall situation continues, we're going to see the oil price increasing. And of course, we know that when the oil price goes up, the consumer prices will go up as well, because the cost of energy is something very important. As you nicely summarized earlier on, 1/3 of the global energy is passing through the Strait of Hormuz. We've seen very few vessels passing, but we still see vessels passing through the Strait of Hormuz, so it's not in a total halt. And I'm anticipating that, if the situation continues as it is, we're going to continue to see what we've seen nearly 2 years ago with the Strait of Bab al-Mandeb, when the Houthis had started attacking the vessels on the other side. And we've seen some limited passage of the vessels, but still some passage was going through. Of course, here the impact will be bigger, especially for Asian economies, because as you said earlier on, a lot of energy products are going primarily for the Asian regions over there. So it's going to be a very complicated and dynamic situation as we're having at the moment, and we're getting more and more news getting from the region. We have also to consider that it's not only the energy, but also there is a lot of logistical activities taking place. Don't forget that the port of Jebel Ali that you mentioned earlier on is in the top 10 around the globe, and is kind of a bridge that's connecting Europe and Asia. So, and we have reports that there's approximately 200 container vessels been trapped in the area. So, as you can imagine, is a situation that's constantly evolving, and we're keeping an eye close.
Stavros, Iran depends heavily on its own oil exports. So wouldn't trying to close or seriously disrupt the Strait of Hormuz actually hurt Tehran as much as its adversaries?
Yes, Adrian, I think you're absolutely right. It's if they're going to do that, if they're going to close the Strait of Hormuz, it's like shooting the foot. And I think they will not want to do that. And that's why I'm hoping that in the next couple of hours, we're going to see at least some de-escalation in the shipping front, because at the end of the day, we have to consider that there's innocent seafarers operating there with the vessels, and the crew that is operating away from the families. They have nothing to do with what is happening in the overall area. The seafarers and the vessels are kind of the lubricant of the global trade, and that's what a lot of people working in remote environments are trying to do, and keep everybody like us providing the goods that we need to do our daily operations. So I think that situation from a logistics perspective, if we see it, is going to de-escalate soon. But what we heard already from your reporters, it's kind of a challenging situation because we don't know what's going to happen in the next few hours.
Very, very briefly, if you can, please, Stavros, because I've got about 30 seconds left here. Is the Strait of Hormuz really Iran's most powerful weapon, or a last resort that Tehran would be reluctant to use because of the consequences that we've discussed? Very quickly.
In a nutshell, I think, yes, it's like they wouldn't like to close the Strait of Hormuz. Probably they're doing some kind of power game at the moment, but I think long term it would have a huge effect in Iran. So my gut feeling says that we're going to see a de-escalation quite soon, especially for the maritime front.
All right, good to talk to you again, Stavros. Many thanks indeed. Stavros Karamperidis there in Plymouth.
Thanks for having me.